Vinny and Abby.
Hello, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Welcome to Detroit.
Ah, the beautiful city of Detroit.
The
Never
Motor
been.
City.
What places should I eat at? What do you recommend?
I don't know. I haven't been to actual Detroit. I've only been to David Cage's Detroit.
Are there any good
Quantic Dream
restaurants
version.
for androids?
I don't think androids actually eat.
Oh.
I went to a wrestling event in Detroit and some other stuff in Detroit.
Well, there's no android wrestling in Detroit
Not
Become
yet.
Human. This is the latest
then
game.
they haven't become fully human yet.
No, clearly not. This is Detroit Become Human. This is the latest Quantic Dream game. Just right off the top here, I'm going to say a couple things.
Okay.
This is a story-focused game in the way that Quantic Dream games always are.
Yep.
So by showing any of it, we are necessitating spoilers here. I will be focusing on early parts of the game. I will not be getting into any big plot twists or anything like that. But just so you know, if you are adamant about remaining unspoiled, this is not the video for you.
Okay.
The second part, I don't like this game very much. I want to just say this up at the top right now.
Have you completed it?
I have beaten it.
Okay.
I have not seen every ending or gone back and done like every chapter, like every possible choice you can do in this game. But I was groaning a lot by the time this game kind of wound to its conclusion.
Cool.
Okay.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah, so I'm going to start, not right at the very beginning, but just kind of pretty early on here. We're going to start with Connor here, who's one of the 3 androids that you play in this game.
Yeah, can you kind of set up the world of Detroit Become Human?
Yes, so the basic idea, this is no spoilers here, just this is the chapter we're going to play, is that it is like the 2030s.
Okay.
And
10 years from now.
A company called CyberLife has introduced a degree of android intelligence that serves as, doing all the jobs for humanity that humanity doesn't want to do.
Got it.
You follow the path of 3 different androids: Connor, Kara, and I'm suddenly blanking on the one played by Jesse Williams, whose name I'm suddenly blanking
Jesse
on.
Williams.
Yes. And they all have varying degrees of humanness, as basically there is a logic virus or something going around that is
intentional.
That is not intentional. That is causing androids to sort of break out of their programming and want their own freedom.
So,
basically.
so as designed, they are completely subservient.
Yes.
And they cannot rise against their human masters.
No, they
and
cannot.
Must do by design. But something has infected them with free will?
Yes.
Wow, they should have got a flu shot.
And I want to be absolutely clear, the way they go about sort of addressing the way that individuality sort of spreads is maybe the hokiest fucking thing I've seen in a game in a good long while.
Is it the touch?
It is literally you walk up, you touch a guy, you say, you're free. And then it's like,
wow.
I'm a person now. I'm going to say don't save. So when you beat chapters, you can go back and replay them. If you save, your story continues from that point.
I see.
But if you don't save, you can just see what happened, and then your story doesn't really change.
And this is okay. So the flowchart progression. This is a story with branching paths.
Many branching paths.
And you're picking up from obviously when you chapter select from the previous paths you've chosen.
Yes,
okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Would you say that it feels like your choices make a big difference?
I mean, in the way that Quantic Dream games are designed, like, yes, the way those games are always designed, it's always like, hey, there are a bunch of different ways this could potentially pan out. Characters can die midway through the series, the story, and you just don't get to see like what the ultimate conclusion of their story would be. But I found it not terribly hard to kind of find most of the optimal paths for a lot of this stuff. So this is Connor. Connor is a highly advanced law enforcement focused android who, up in this state, like the opening scene is that thing you've seen in like every E3 demo where you're talking down the android who has the human hostage.
Okay.
That's the opening scene where you meet Connor. This is the first time like you really kind of get to do stuff with him outside of that.
And does he have the free will?
He does not. He's the one who has sort of like been tasked with dealing with the deviants, which are the androids that are a problem.
Let me ask you this.
Yes. Yes.
This game seems to be trucking in some metaphor and allegory.
Uh-huh.
What is the relationship between the human population and androids at this point. I'm sure there must be some kind of they are taking our jobs.
Oh yeah, and to be clear, that is the only thing that is happening in human society at this point. Like they specifically say, oh yeah, unemployment's up to like 35%. It's wild. And they never really address the fact that, like, human society kind of went ahead with the idea of full automation before they'd figured out what to do with people.
So is it the rich are getting rich off of android labor?
No, that's the thing. There's no real, like, class metaphor for this stuff. It's just people are mad at androids because they took all the jobs.
But why did they just stop having androids?
Well, because there's a brief allusion to like the president having some ties to the corporation that's making all this happen.
Oh.
Somebody's making money off of androids, I assume.
It's possible one of the endings I didn't get actually explains a little bit more about how this all came to be, but I never got that one.
Suffice it to say,
Lieutenant
humans and androids have a very contentious relationship.
Yes.
By Cyberlife. I looked for you at the station, but nobody knew where
He's
you were.
not going to be, our
They
character
said you
here
were
is not going to be
probably
well
having a
accepted.
drink nearby.
No.
I was lucky to find you at the 5th bar.
You may be surprised to learn there are restaurants that say no androids allowed.
Okay.
The androids are forced to sit at the back of the bus because
Ooh.
they just
Is
straight
that
up.
literally
That's
what?
literally.
The
There is
company has
a
allocated
compartment in the back where the
specialized
androids
model to
ride.
assist investigators.
Why do androids have to
Well, I
take
don't
buses?
need
Why
any
can't they just run
assistance.
really fast?
Yeah.
They can do that too.
Why can't they
but-
use their big jump legs?
Yeah.
Just be a good little robot and get the fuck out of here.
That is Clancy Brown, who is one of
I
my
understand
favorite
that
character
some
actors,
people are not comfortable
and one of the few
with
actually good
androids,
performances in this game.
I
He's
am
actually pretty good
perfectly comfortable.
in a role that is very
Back off
generic
before
in
I
the
crush you
grizzled
like an
old
empty
police
beer can.
detective way.
Oh, so he's a human cop?
Listen,
Yes.
I think you should stop drinking and come with me. It'll make life easier for both of us.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to agree. It looks like
Spill his
Clancy
drink.
Brown.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll buy you one for the road.
That's
What do
not
you
how
say?
drinks work. He's gonna get an open carry ticket.
That is Clancy
Well,
Brown.
That is Clancy Brown.
Okay. Clancy Brown, Shawshank
That Jim
Redemption.
wanted
Yes.
Technology. Make it a double.
I will say this game looks really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing I have no beef with this game. The production on it is clearly top quality. They spent a lot of money on this. The visuals are great. Like, some of the directorial choices are pretty solid. Like, it is a glossy,
Did you say homicide?
polished production.
That's not what Clancy Brown's eyes look like. It is the thing that we kind of have been talking about with this game. It sounds like is playing out of. Sounds like they're trying to tackle some heady topics. Do they have the chops to pull it off?
But so this is the wild thing, is that I don't feel like they actually are trying to tackle heavy topics. They are just using some of those topics as kind of a little bit of a mirror for
My instructions
this
are for
story,
company
which I think
crime
David
scene.
Cage thinks is very, like, this could happen kind of scenario.
Hey, listen.
From some of the interviews I've read with him, he's talking like, oh, very literally, in 20 years, androids are going to take your, AI is going to take your job. Isn't that crazy? And it's like, well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
He's not wrong, but also it's not a novel idea.
No.
Are you gonna follow him?
No,
Okay.
don't follow him. So where are you headed?
So we are going to a crime scene where something involving a deviant android has happened.
How badly can you fuck this up? Like, if you're mean all the time, if you like don't follow him, will it just like the story path end, or is
There
it like
are-
somebody will die?
There are places where you can fuck it up real bad.
Okay.
There are other places where
It like overtakes for you.
you don't really have a
What I
choice.
say in the car, didn't you understand?
Your order contradicted my instructions, Lieutenant.
You don't
I will say the
talk,
guy
you
who
don't
plays
touch
Connor
anything.
is maybe the
Stay
one
out of
who
my
has
way.
the best
Got it?
grasp of like how to play an android in this game.
Yeah, it seems like so far the acting
that
seems
was
all
the
right.
plan.
Like he's
Yeah.
just like sort of ingratiating enough to feel like, hey, he's been programmed to be nice in all
very funny.
circumstances,
Just tell me what
but also is maybe a little obnoxious in times. Some of the other android characters just straight up feel like humans, and not in a way that feels like this is
Intentional.
earned.
Right. Do they have androids that are like social androids, like companion androids?
Yes. Yes.
Abby, of course.
Okay,
that was
good.
the first android made.
Just wondering.
Aggravated assault. According to
Whoa.
the neighbors, he was
That is
You're not
very,
alive.
That is
That's
very
wrong.
nice handwriting. I'm going to assume that was an android.
Seems very likely, yes.
Printed that on the wall.
Worth calling everybody out in the middle of the night.
I'm not a detective.
Could've waited
Yep.
till
I am no
morning.
Clancy Brown.
I'd say he's
Look
been
how
there for
human
a
I
good
am
3
in my
weeks.
Times New Roman
A little more
font.
when the coroner gets here. There's a kitchen knife over here, probably the murder weapon.
Any sign of a break-in?
Nope. The landlord said the front door was locked from the inside. All the windows were boarded up. The killer must have gone out the back way.
What do we know about his android?
Not much. The neighbors confirmed he had one, but it wasn't here when we arrived. I gotta get some air. Make yourself at home.
Is that like code for drugs?
I'll be outside.
No, I think it's just that
The body stinks.
there's a very unpleasant body right there, making perhaps a bit of a smell. Okay, so with R2 here, I'm entering investigation mode, which is...
Yeah.
I was gonna say, this is probably my favorite part of the game, which is just like the straight up crime scene investigation stuff, which is usually like done well in like Quantic Dream type stuff.
And this also reminds me the most of Heavy Rain.
Yeah. Also, there's your fake future drug.
What's it called?
Red Ice.
Okay.
Red Ice.
Yeah, okay. Do you get iced? Are people iced?
As far as I can tell, it's people smoking what looks like a very deep red HDR effect.
Okay.
Can the
that's-
androids do drugs?
No, it's purely a human drug.
Perfect.
Androids dream of doing
Human
drugs.
drugs like this.
Electric drugs.
Yes.
The drugs are also sheep.
Okay,
Ew.
That's how-
they could have figured out a better way for the
Jesus, what the
android.
hell are you
Yeah,
See, he's
okay.
right there with you.
Minerals in the blood. I can check samples
Why would
in
they
real
have it
time.
do it in his mouth?
yeah,
Just have his little
just-
fingertips open up. There's
seriously.
no reason for it to go like the
Okay,
grossest
just
way possible.
Could you just have a
more
pocket
evidence
thing
in your
that just
mouth.
put your finger in?
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, at least Clancy Brown. Like, has Clancy Brown never worked with an android before?
I love it. He's like, got it, but it's so delicious.
So there's a lot of little choices like this in the game. Like I'm saying, like in terms of like the direction of it, that like I'm right there with
Chris,
you. Like, why
just
would you
written in the
program an
victim's
android to lick horrible substances?
I love it, honestly.
But there's other stuff too. Like, so you see like the LED light that's kind of in his forehead there.
Yeah.
That's like one of the key identifying marks of an android.
Right.
And one thing that you see androids
want
do
full
frequently throughout the
analysis
game
on
when
that
they're trying to
guidance.
hide themselves is they can just pull that off.
What?
Oh.
And then the skin kind of just sort of like sews up over it.
Oh, that's
Like,
poor
why would
design.
you design an
Yeah.
android that could remove its primary identifying
Well, Alex,
characteristic?
Obviously, because they are all supposed to wear their android jacket.
I mean, I guess, but like, it feels like it's just not that
Sure.
well thought
Yeah.
out,
I mean,
you know?
nobody probably thought they would become
human?
Yes.
Whoa, I'm loving this gritty ass
That is-
grossness. Put it in your mouth.
Just lick his face.
Yeah. I want the other cop to come in and just see him like licking all over his face and be like, come on, man.
All right, just need to find one more little clue somewhere in
Oh,
here.
is that by his ear?
I think it's down
Oh,
here.
I see.
Yeah, there it is.
Cheetos dust.
All right, let's reconstruct what happened here.
Chester Cheetah did it.
So you get these little video things where you can kind of reconstruct
Oh, cool.
exactly what took
I love this
place,
shit.
and here's where you kind of scan, like, okay.
How often do you do that?
Connor does it a little bit more because he's more of an investigative, android. There are other characters that have to like sort of construct scenarios like this, but it's not like crime scene necessarily.
Right. How much is sort of this kind of more puzzle aspect versus the social dialogue tree stuff?
It's a pretty balanced mix, I
Okay.
would say. Like, it's, there's definitely a lot of like, if you miss certain evidence or you don't get the right things, you will miss parts of the story. Likewise with the dialogue, like if you follow a certain dialogue tree or another one, you will sometimes miss components of things that you could get otherwise.
Gotcha.
All right, so we figured out at least kind of how he died there.
Did you ever watch the show Almost Human?
I did not.
Okay, it is very similar to this particular stuff. Of
Right.
Police force starts getting androids on the team. I thought it was very good.
A lot of this game feels like kind of a greatest hits collection of tropes from every other sort of like Android-focused media you've ever seen. There's definitely like a little bit of Blade Runner in there. There's a little bit of Ex Machina in there. There's a lot. And
I love Ex Machina.
yeah, I do too. Like,
Wait, what was the font? Cyber letters?
It looked like it. Yeah,
Helvetica?
maybe it's CyberLife's. Patented
default
font.
font.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. More blood.
Do you think that those tropes are fun for someone who is like, I'm fine with like kind of a campy sci-fi thing of like, this is all the robot stuff I like, or do you think it's just kind of like, oh, I've seen this a million times?
It's for me, it was a lot of I've seen this a million times. I think that it's not. I don't think it would be impossible for someone to derive enjoyment out of this game. Like again, I think it's generally well made enough to where it's engaging. I just never got on board with the story they were trying. Okay, Clancy, hey.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
All right.
Oh, intimate.
I never got really on board with the story they were trying to tell. And a lot, especially toward the end, I feel like a lot of it unravels in a way that is not good.
Well, let me ask you a question that might make or break this game for me.
All right.
Do they live in a world where all the science fiction already exists about all of this happening?
I have no idea because they never talk, like, human society in this game exists in two forms. They are either a saintly person who is kind and gentle and loves all creatures, you know, human and android, or they're monsters.
Okay, so full Paragon or full Renegade?
Yeah, pretty much.
Full
like
Blue Bar or
there's
full
there's
Red
almost
Bar?
no nuance
Always
to
locked
humanity
on
in
the
this
inside.
game.
How about Clancy?
Almost gone out this way.
I mean, he's the closest you get, but even he is still just like the grizzled detective who, like, you can either begrudgingly make like you or not.
Okay. All right, I'm going to watch some of this.
No, this type of soil would retain a trace. Nobody's been out here for a long time.
Is he ever wrong?
I mean, define wrong.
Like, would he fail the
does
spelling?
the detective's gut
Oh.
pull through over the androids?
There are times
analytical?
when I think Clancy Brown's judgment is maybe a little bit better,
Of, like, the android
Like-
might be like, he should go to prison forever. And he's like, well,
or even just
maybe
like
not.
in a situation like that's like a, you know, a tough situation. Like sometimes, you know, he will be like, no, you need to hold back. You need to not, you know,
Gotcha.
do this. But like in terms of like his analysis, no, his analysis is always pretty spot on.
But does he get human?
Android sex officially better.
Sorry, ladies.
Plastic can't be.
But wait, sorry, ladies, but plastic can't be beat.
Wow, they raise good points.
Yeah.
Frankly, I'm sold.
Let's try a different magazine.
Oh, tech addict.
Boring. Go back.
My android is spying on me.
There's a lot.
And that's
of,
what I like.
There's a lot of these little magazines you can sort of pick up, and they add a little flavor to the world, but I never really found too much of it that interesting. All right, let's see here. What else is there to look at?
Oh,
Knife
Knife.
missing.
I
Yeah.
want one of those magnetic strips. I don't really have that many knives, but I think they're so dang cool.
I had one. I used to have one.
Did you
here.
love it?
Yeah, I actually kind of did
Did
like
you
it.
have to stop having it because you had kids who would grab it?
No, I'm not sure what happened to it. Actually, I didn't have a place to hang it on in my new house. But the only thing I will say is you just have to be careful putting knives on and off,
Because
so you
they'll
don't
fall.
hit. No, because the magnet was too strong. And it
Oh,
was
really?
Like, yeah, it'd be tough to like not like ding the blade or something. Like you kind of have to roll it on or slide, roll it off or
Wow.
slide it off.
Right. Oh, shit. Okay, so who was hidden first?
It looks like the human here is
Yeah,
the
he's got
one that
that.
has been up to no good to start.
Do the androids feel pain?
It's never really specified. It's like they don't feel pain in the way that humans do. Like they're not programmed to like, you know, react the same way, but like they are programmed, I think, to defend themselves and to not, you
Okay.
know, but also like one of the repeating tropes in this is that humans are just horribly abusive to androids.
Oh, interesting.
Like a lot of them are.
Are they? I'm sorry to grill you about this
No, go
entire
for it.
world.
This is- yeah.
Are they affordable enough? Where is it a special thing to own an android, or
So that's the wild thing is that like I feel like the degree of enhanced intelligence they are talking about here and like the amount of stuff they are able to do, you would think they would be prohibitively expensive. They would just be like the, you know,
Lieutenant,
an
I
object of
figured
the
out what
rich
happened.
more than anything
Right.
else.
Oh, yeah.
And there are like people, obviously rich people who
all
have them,
ears.
but like there are also like this guy who lives in, as far as I can tell, a hovel,
in the kitchen.
and he had an android.
are they? Do you know?
So I think they cost like thousands, but not like tens of
Right.
Is it
thousands.
sort of like
That's the
her,
struggle.
where it's like the equivalent of a
Question is-
computer?
Kind of, yeah.
Exactly.
Do you know if people get them like as
I think the
assisted
victim attacked
living
the
or like?
android.
hey,
Yeah, no, there's. I'll actually show you. There's the Jesse Williams character.
Uh-oh.
With the bat.
I got it. Sorry, I
Ooh,
just need to
good
pay
call.
attention to what we're.
So we've
we're
been
saying.
talking over all of this. So you're telling him what you've
Yes.
reconstructed and learned. Okay. Is your- I kind of do just want to absorb some of this
Yeah.
at some point. Sorry, I've been talking over it.
But yeah, that's another thing that never completely made a ton of sense to me, was just like, I guess mass production at this point is cheap enough to where they can just manufacture these intelligent androids over and over and over again at fairly low cost. The living room.
The living room.
I do like the big long pause of like computer processing, loading.
If you don't pick something by the timer, what happens?
I don't know. I never actually missed one. I assume it's just sort of like he's like, hey, why aren't you answering this?
Or will it go with the default one?
Or maybe he'd be like, you
that makes
fucking
sense.
idiot. You should have stayed in the
The
car.
android murdered the victim with the knife.
In the observatory.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Theory's
Okay.
not totally ridiculous. But it doesn't tell us where the android went.
It was damaged by the bat and lost some therium.
Is that
Also,
fuel?
what?
Therium. You call it blue blood. It's the fluid that powers androids' biocomponents.
They're like horseshoe crabs.
It evaporates after a few hours and becomes invisible to the naked eye.
Is he?
But I bet you can still see it, can't you?
Is that Clancy's first day?
What do you mean?
Like, or has there never been like android crime? Is this all new?
It seems like the amount of android crime has increased exponentially at the time this game has started.
Doesn't seem like Clancy is kind of hip to being
Yeah.
a detective in an android world.
It also seems like I get that nobody wants the androids around, but this dude is pretty fucking useful in this crime scene.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why wouldn't he want him to be like, yeah, do my job for me, bro?
I don't know. Just stick him in a PDA, put him in my pocket. Like, give me some goggles that can see therium,
All right, let's
but give me
see
a
here.
tongue that can taste
Oh, yeah, I want to taste that blood. Finally, an excuse to put some blood in my mouth.
another. Excuse.
Yeah. I would love it
androids
if
get
the
scared?
android was just there. Why is this little head thing yellow?
I think it's processing when it's
Oh,
yellow.
cool. I like when he's thinking. Man, this place is dirty as hell. Do androids have to shower?
I assume not.
Rag. Is that what that says?
I think it says RA9.
Oh.
Who's that? Do you know what that means by this point? or-
Not by this
whoa.
point.
Is that made of soap? Are there future religions?
It doesn't really the androids sort of have their own little mythology going on, but
That's kind of fun.
I don't want to say too much more about that.
Okay.
What was the thing in Heavy Rain? Ari? They would always call the detective.
Oh, I don't remember.
Ari. Uh-oh. Send Clancy up there.
Nah, I think I should handle this one.
Alex,
Yeah.
are there any heavier androids? Like androids
Oh,
that
yeah, who
are
aren't,
like super fit and
Hey,
handsome?
what are you
Oh
doing
yeah,
with that shit?
yeah. They come
I'm
in
going to check
various
something.
sizes.
Are they catered to, like, are all the cop androids, do they look exactly like him? Or do they have,
There-
like, facial differences? and
There
stuff?
are definitely there's a pretty decent variety of like android types, but like yes, there are repeats. You will definitely see
Okay.
repeats of the
That's
same
cool.
character.
Yeah,
model.
me too. I bet it's just a mannequin. This seems like a ruse.
He's gonna
It's a red herring.
dramatically pull this thing back again.
Gets startled.
Well, let's find out together.
Are you controlling this?
No.
Cutscene.
Oh wait, I am. Yes.
I knew it.
Wow.
Ooh, that's like a fucking weird ass mannequin. No, thank you.
I was building my own robot. $2030, you said, right?
2030s. I don't know exactly which year.
Uh oh. Do you think we're gonna get freed?
Oh, huh. Good call. It's a well-rendered attic, I will say.
I know. This game looks really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the animations seem pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Again, the accomplishments of this game are primarily visual in nature, and they are strong. Like, it is a strong-looking game. I don't feel like I really love its aesthetic necessarily because it kind of doesn't really have one. But in terms of like fidelity and like animation quality and stuff like that, yeah, it's top notch.
I kind of like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, I mean,
Just gonna kill me. I'm begging you. Don't tell him.
Connor, what the fuck is going on up there?
ooh, we get to make a choice. What do we do?
No, we don't.
Oh, dang it.
That's not one of the choices.
Chris,
Oh, so even the
Get your asses
androids
in
will
here
call
now.
each other it?
Yes, that is the determined nomenclature.
Oh, really? They don't gender themselves?
It seems like not.
Okay, interesting.
Well, is there like a moment where somebody like says like, you know, him or her to make them seem human?
And then they're like, whoa.
No, I know. I don't remember a moment
Okay.
like that. But so at the end of every chapter, you get this little sort of like flow chart of all the things you saw and all the things
really?
and it
So
doesn't.
you missed some stuff.
So yeah, obviously I didn't do every single thing here.
So this
but
isn't post game. This happens.
this
even during
happens at the
normal
end of every
playthrough?
chapter.
Okay.
All right, so let's try a different one.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
As someone who didn't like the monotony and bad acting of Heavy Rain,
Uh huh.
enjoyed the campiness and kind of silly branchingness of what's it called? Beyond Two Souls.
Yes.
Would I enjoy this game?
So I'm kind of right there with you.
Okay.
I remember kind of liking Heavy Rain at the time, but like the more I think about it, the dumber that game is.
Oh, it's so dumb.
It's very dumb.
The end, it's all bad.
And Beyond was a game that like the high moments in that game I thought were pretty good. The lows were extremely low
Oh, yeah.
and
There were
sort of
some
unbearable.
Real dumb, real weird parts, but
That's-
also whatever. It was like campy in a way that I could get on board with.
Yeah.
Could I get on board with this if I'm like, okay, I'm fine with some campiness. I'm fine with some silly androids. It looks good. It potentially plays well, it seems.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was kind of on board with this game for a little bit in the early goings because it was kind of setting some stuff up. I was like, okay, if they deliver on this, I'm on board. They, to me, did not deliver on it. By the time the story kind of gets into the meat of what's going on, it misses a lot more than it hits, at least for me. Like, there are parts of this game that are supposed to be scary that are just straight up hilarious.
Okay, I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but it's like it's corny in a way that I don't think benefits the story they're trying to add this weight to.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think like what the next part I want to show is.
Do you have any actiony parts?
Yeah, I can do that.
I want to see a pleasure robot.
That is not an actiony part.
I wish there was a part in this game. I realize it's a completely different game at that point, but I just want to make an android and live like an android.
Yeah. What is it? You know, this is kind of an actiony part, and it has both Connor and Kara in it.
Okay, it's not more investigating.
This is not more investigating.
Okay, cool.
So this is a little further in. Again, you know, if you are trying to avoid spoilers, there's no...
Don't worry, we've been talking over everything.
Yeah, there's no
Nobody can absorb
giant
a thing.
story beats here, but like there's some stuff. So we'll just start from this checkpoint that I had here. So this Kara is a family robot that is sort
a
of
nanny?
designed to help around the house.
Okay.
She ends up with a dude who's a real shitbag, is a child abuser.
Oh shit.
I think this was in some of the stuff they
Yeah,
showed.
so at this point you have escaped the house and are on the run with the little girl.
Do they have child robots similar to AI?
Wow.
I think they are. You see some like ads for like child robots and stuff.
Okay. That could be dangerous.
Yeah. Weird. Do they ever talk about legislation in terms of like?
So the only thing,
Like robot rights?
No, I was gonna think hey, restrictions on AI and like, hey, you can't make robots that do this or do this.
as far as I can tell, at least in the U.S., it's an unregulated nightmare.
Wow, okay, that sounds fun.
And so Canada, they talk frequently about how Canada doesn't really have any Android laws, and in fact, there are no androids in Canada. Or at least they're not manufactured there. So there's a whole subplot about like characters trying to get to
escape
Canada
to Canada.
because because it's a whole different situation there.
Man, they really are doing that.
Slavery
metaphor right on the nose.
just right-
I mean,
Do they
right
get
out
there via a railroad?
Is it underground? Let's
Yeah.
say, like a subway?
Well,
Like a tunneled railroad underneath the earth?
Let me put it this way: the character you meet who's supposed to get you across the border is a black woman who is the only character who even addresses the notion that human slavery ever existed, and it's a tossed-off line that exists for about 5 seconds, and then they immediately go back to the android story.
Is her name Blary at Blubman?
No, but still, it is. That scene in particular was one of the things that made me just be like, okay, all right.
Do they not have a?
Whoa,
what?
cool! Change appearance.
Wait, so is that the character you're playing as?
Yes, that's Kara.
Is that not? That's a human.
That's the kid.
That's
she
the little
stole
girl.
Okay.
From the abusive man. I
So
want to change appearance. Neato.
So we're on the run right now. We've just stayed overnight in this abandoned car because that was the only place we could find to hide.
are there any kind of ticking clocks, like they have a kill switch for androids that you need to get removed, or they run out of recharging energy, or they need to check in?
There are timed sequences that can happen. Like there's one where Connor is gravely injured at one point, and he has to like get out of a situation within a couple of minutes, otherwise he will die.
Well, I just mean in terms of the android, like kind of Jurassic Park style. Do they have like a failsafe?
Not to my like as far as I know, there's no kill switch for them.
Are all
like-
the androids women?
No, they're. I mean, again, I was playing as Connor.
I
so-
know.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
the Jurassic Park.
Right.
Yeah. No. Life
Lysine.
finds a way.
Was it lysine deficiency? I can't remember what the thing they
Yeah, I
had
don't
in there.
remember.
So do they have a? They don't have like a Find My Android app or something?
Apparently not. Which again is another one of those things. I'm like, why would you program a bunch of androids and then just kind of keep them off a network where they can't you can't control them?
Oh, that was spooky.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is I'm supposed to do here.
I like that you're figuring it out, and it also looks like she's figuring it out. Of like
Yeah.
the walk 2 steps, look around, like I don't know.
Yikes.
Oh, cut your hair! Cut your hair!
Yes.
So is the setup from this? I assume we have left the abusive household.
Yes, and we were on the run.
Okay. This is so Quantic Dream.
Oops. I messed it. And I messed it up by hitting the wrong button.
At least you
I
didn't
just
botch
like.
it.
I just love this part of my hair, though.
There we
Do
go.
I want to cut this one little bit?
Nobody will recognize me.
Yeah. I have sideburns now.
And as we all know, 3 snips and you have an instant pixie cut.
Yeah. And she did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Wow. Got the back pretty well. White. Oh.
Well, no, I can try different ones.
Oh, cool.
She's really happy
White.
about this. Wait, so she could just think what color?
Apparently.
That's amazing. That hair's probably worth millions.
I know. I want to do.
Throwing it on the floor.
Oh, we'll go with the white.
Yeah. Can we also make her face look like an old lady?
Tragically, no.
What is that? So when they remove, okay, there
Oh
we go.
shit! Do you need the scissors to do this? Ugh. Oh, sugar.
But that's it. That's all you have to do. And it's like the one identifying characteristic you
Yeah.
have is just gone.
But does that like make her not
No.
able to connect to anything, or
No, as far as I can tell, it has no real bearing on anything other than, okay, now I no longer have to, I know no one will know unless I'm wearing this outfit.
that says Android on
Yeah.
it?
Right. Well, we're about to find new clothes though, so.
Yes. All right. So let's.
I mean, they may know considering she probably speaks like a robot, like that one dude did.
She is
Is she
one
free or
of
no?
she's one of the performances that I would say is maybe not particularly robot-like past a certain point.
Also, so she stole this child. Is
Yes.
that because her robot thing was like protect the child at all costs, or is that because she became free?
Yeah, she
Like,
is she
is-
touched,
So she breaks through her programming to protect the child.
but she was not.
Okay.
She was not touched by the freedom.
No, she came to it of her own volition.
Does the child love the robot? Does
The
she
child
love it?
does. The child does seem to love the robot. All right.
Do humans stick the things to the side of their head and pretend they are androids?
I have not seen any android cosplay in the game.
That's a shame.
It would mostly be about
Yeah.
sex stuff, I think. Anyway.
Oh, no question.
No question.
Cops.
Are there a lot of android cops?
No. In fact, most of the cops you meet are humans. Like the Connor being like an investigative thing is a relatively recent
Okay.
situation, as far as I can tell.
Other cool android slang terms? Like,
No.
like bolt head or
No, nothing like there. No, there are no android slurs that I'm aware of. They'll call them like a bucket of bolts or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
not. There's no like universal
like
term.
chip face.
No.
Alice. Wake up, Alice. So it wasn't a nightmare.
No, you're really in a video game.
No, it wasn't a nightmare.
How much is the
How do
kid
you
in this
feel?
game?
I mean, she's in pretty much all the sections with this android.
What are we gonna do now? That android we saw yesterday.
Is that
He gave
Connor?
me an address. He said we could get help there.
No, that's not Connor.
The train passes just on the other side of the road.
Yeah, she doesn't sound like a robot at
Station
all.
can't be far.
Yeah.
You feel okay to walk a little?
I mean, I suppose you could explain away by saying like ones that are meant to be in the home
Totally.
maybe have a little bit
Yeah.
more of a personality,
Right.
but
They
it's
have to
a-
like nurture a child
Right.
or whatever.
but it just at no point does like her performance really read to me as like artificial. And I'm not sure if that's just like a choice or if that's just like a voice direction thing or what, but it's just it's a
Right.
little inconsistent in a way that sort of is like there are other
You
characters you
look
meet who
like
are
you're
just straight up
swimming.
like, I don't understand how you were ever an android because you just talk like a sassy person.
Oh, sassy. That's fun.
I mean, she really is just a person now.
Yeah.
So are we?
Police are on our trail.
Okay, so somebody has called the cops.
Yes. You wanted action. I'm giving you action.
All right. I hate umbrellas. We all hate umbrellas.
In case anybody saw.
Are the robots extra
Okay, well, let me
strong
know
or
if they
anything,
turn
or do they
anything
just
up.
have? They're just robotic.
They are generally stronger, I think,
Okay.
but I don't think they're like all superhumanly strong. So they are very agile and they can get around places faster than humans.
Okay.
Wait, is that double-sided iPad?
It took the first bus that came along and
I didn't
stayed
see
at
it.
the end of the line. Its decision wasn't planned. It was driven by fear.
Androids don't feel fear.
Deviants do. They get overwhelmed by their emotions and make irrational decisions.
All right, well, that still doesn't tell us where it went.
Or why I don't have an
Have a
umbrella.
plan, and it had nowhere to go.
Yeah, y'all can go in that little coffee shop or whatever.
Nope.
It's there.
Maybe it didn't go far.
I paid for the wet tech. I'm gonna use the wet tech. She's not even putting her hood up. All that work to cut her hair, she's not going to cover it up with that hood.
I know. That's how you can tell she's an android. Uh-oh. Sneaking mission.
Yeah, I'm not good at this, so I think we're just gonna.
Oh, look, these people have umbrellas.
All right, so
Ooh.
danger level, danger level.
That's not suspicious.
Do people drive cars?
I think it's all like auto drive stuff.
That sounds like the future.
Like people definitely in cars, but
But the cars are driving?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, look, they all look like
Yeah.
they're backwards.
So I think I'm actually gonna fail this because I kind of want to show off a little bit more of the action stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, look, you could
Oh, cool. Look at that taxi.
you could make it through this without the
Yeah,
action.
without being seen, but
I love fucking cyberpunky shit, though.
yeah, I'm just gonna let this cop actually notice
Cool.
me.
Oopsies. Hello, officer.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, run right into him.
We saw them headed for the train station.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now you're
Now I'm
super
Connor.
cop?
Climb up a thing.
So there aren't a lot of sequences where you're playing multiple characters in one. There's a handful of these. This is, I think, actually the first one that I encountered.
It also does seem a little weird to play the person chasing and also the person getting away.
You'll see how they pace that out momentarily
Why does it look like your shirt's underwater?
because
Android tech.
billowy.
Yeah, it's
They're over there.
wait,
Hey,
which
you
way?
could have run.
Yeah, come on, man.
she pushed me, all right?
The rain was in my eyes.
It was a little kid. Very strong little kid.
Man, I really wish you had laser vision. Could just like zap.
Don't shoot! We need it alive!
Also, there's a little kid there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like that sign. That's like, hey, these are robot cars. They stop for nothing.
Oh, fuck. That's insane.
Yeah,
geez,
this
don't do
seems
it.
fine. Oh my god!
Alex.
Look,
okay.
you wanted action. I'm giving you action.
Oh, I thought that kid just got hit by a car.
That kid did it.
No,
roll you
I got
down?
hit. I got clipped.
Oh man, that noise though, and then like the kid was like out of view.
It looked like the kid got hit,
I
but it just
know.
rolled you back to a
That's an
different part.
order.
Oh man.
So I wanted to go chase it, and Hank was like, absolutely not. So I had the choice there of am I going to obey his order or not.
Okay.
and I ultimately decided to obey it.
Why did he say absolutely not? Too dangerous?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Let me get through this and then I'll explain.
Oh, man. I love the method of just shoving the kid.
All right. I can't wait for the videos of every failed prompt on that.
Yeah.
Like that, what was that one where the guy's running through the market? It just hits everything.
Oh, yeah.
There's a handful of sequences like that where you just, it's rapid fire, like trying to make sure you're hitting the right stick movements, mashing the buttons, etc.
That was pretty fun, though. See, I think I like that goofiness of it.
I mean, that's the stuff I don't mind as much. Like, I think, the core idea of what a Quantic Dream game is in terms of, like, game design is fun. I think they have refined that enough over the years to where, I'm engaged with the ways that they make the action and the storytelling kind of blend together. The problem I have is the writing primarily.
Yeah, which is fair in a very story-driven game.
Exactly, yeah, and it's not like the most egregious thing. And like I think a lot of Heavy Rain is probably still the most like egregious writing David Cage has ever done. But man, it's just like the way it tries to sort of thread the needle between saying something and saying absolutely nothing is not good. Is the only way I can say that without getting really into the depth of the spoilers, which I probably can't do as a result of review embargoes and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if I were to talk to you guys about like what happens in the end of this game and how it all kind of comes together, like that would probably explain a lot more about why I actively don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I kind of want to show like maybe one more thing here. This is just a brief look at the Jesse Williams character here. This is kind of a pivotal decision in the game, and what you do sort of depends. It decides like which character lives or dies. But it's not one of your main ones. It's just another character that's sort of like a component of the story.
Is this a little more spoiler heavy if people want to?
Yeah, so I would say just bounce out of this part right now if you don't want to see anything. But I just wanted to show like a brief thing with Jesse Williams here, because this is actually an example of like what happens when you go against your programming.
Oh, cool.
So we'll load here. So his
you try failing as much as you can.
Yes,
here?
please.
I mean, sure. There aren't a lot of like fail state situations for this one, but
like I'm just curious to see what happens if you're given an opportunity to respond and you don't. Like if you
right.
just don't
Oh,
hit
sure,
anything.
yeah.
So in this case, this android has been assigned to this very saintly painter character, old man, played by Lance Henriksen. And you're kind of like, he sort of coaxes you early on into sort of like trying to do things that aren't just like what you're programmed to do. Like at one point he asks you to paint.
Okay.
And he's like, no, just think of something. Don't just recreate something.
Oh, I bet Android art sells real.
Yeah.
Like for a lot of money.
And that's kind of one of the first like kind of cornball moments of just like, he just paints something kind of generic and the dude's like, oh, wow, that's amazing.
Every time I go to one of these,
Also, how the hell are you going to cast Lance Henriksen in a game about androids and not cast him as an android? I'm just saying.
Does an android like come out of him?
What?
Well, it's a
Pop
chance
out of his
for all those
chest.
people who admire your work to meet you.
Yeah. No one gives a damn about art. All they care about is how much money they're gonna make out of it. Come on, let's have a drink. Oh, the excitement of this whole thing has made me thirsty.
Scotch, neat as usual.
Absolutely.
Okay,
how
but
I
you know
like
what your doctor would say.
Yeah,
I'm starting to feel
kiss
bad
my
for the
ass. I'm
cop
old enough to
robot
choose my
and
own
his like
medication.
stilted way of speaking.
I
Everybody else-
know.
Yeah.
All these social robots are like having a good time. Okay, classic pour.
Mm-hmm.
Did you leave the light on in the studio?
No, I'm sure I didn't.
Call the police.
Detroit Police, what's your emergency?
This is Carl Manfred's android at 8941 Lafayette Avenue. We've just returned home and found the lights on. There may have been a break-in.
A patrol car is on the way.
Let's go check it out.
Do you know where in the U.S. they are?
Marcus, no.
Oh, Detroit. That was the stupidest question I've ever asked. Okay, carry on.
I think they're in Become Human.
Okay.
Look who's here. My father's plastic toy.
You meet him before. He's kind of a
Leo.
shitbag.
What's going on?
You refused to help me, so I'm helping myself. It's crazy what some people pay for this shit.
Don't touch him.
Look, they're all gonna be mine sooner or later anyway. Just think of it as a down payment on my inheritance.
Marcus, get him away from there. Get him out of here.
Tickle him.
What do you think?
Warn.
Look,
Yeah.
I've already called the police. You should go now before you get yourself into more trouble.
All you ever do is tell me to go away. What's wrong, Dad? Not good enough for you? Not perfect like this fucking thing?
That's enough. Get out right now.
What makes it so special anyway, huh? What's it got that I don't?
Leave him alone.
Oh, he calls him a him. He sees the human in it.
Yeah.
Marcus, don't defend yourself. You hear me? Don't do anything.
Go ahead, hit me. What you waiting for? Think you're a man? Act like one.
What was that?
matter?
This is
Too
not
much of a
fair. Is that what he's
That he
thinking?
can't
Yeah.
defend himself.
But that's like his program.
Yeah, I think that's just what he's thinking.
He's making this old man get upset. Don't
Big
defend.
choice.
Don't do it.
Don't defend.
Are you previewing what this might look like? You just explode him?
This is me breaking through my programming.
No, don't defend. Don't break through. Can you not break through?
At that point, I think you have to do something.
No.
But so I have the choice here coming up of like, do I want to fight back
right,
or not?
That's right. I forgot you're not a real person. You're just a fucking piece of plastic.
Leon, leave him alone.
I'm gonna destroy you. Then it'll just be me and my dad.
Endure.
Endure it.
You want me to endure it?
Yes,
What'd you do last
endure.
I've done both. So
Okay, endure
You
it.
hear me? You're nothing.
My tummy.
I went through all that programming breakthrough for nothing.
Yep. Oh man.
Here it comes.
Carl, no.
Are they gonna kiss?
Carl,
Humans. Fragile machines.
Carl, don't leave, okay? Please don't go. Don't leave.
Whoa, he can cry?
Remember, Marcus?
Yeah, and I don't know why they program tears into the androids.
Tell you who you
They're supposed to seem human.
I mean, yeah, but
What has Lance been doing lately? Do you mind if I look up?
he was in a Nicolas Cage movie earlier this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is all your fault. This never would have happened if it weren't for you.
Taste his blood. See what happened. Oh shit! It's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
seem like we killed him.
He's
The
working.
android. It was the android.
They're gonna know that dude just had a heart attack. Whoa, those cops. That is not due process.
That.
So that's the choice you made
Wait, is that the end of that character?
of that scene.
Oh, okay. You did say characters can die, right?
They can. There's more to that character's story beyond that. But yes, that's all I'm going to say from there. But you could have done that differently if you had fought back.
Yeah.
There would have been a
Hey,
different
I
outcome.
wanted to
Leave it-
follow my master's
Leave
orders.
it for the
Yeah.
people at home.
So those are all the three main characters that you play throughout this game. Again, I'm not going to show anything from the later game because I don't want to spoil stuff for people. But again, that's where I'm at with this game. I wish I liked it more.
Yeah.
And it's not that I got a bad ending necessarily. Like, I'm not bummed out because, like, you know, I got like the unfortunate ending for some character or whatever. It's that even with the good endings that I kind of ultimately got toward, I feel like it ultimately does not deliver.
Just weren't satisfied?
Not even close. And honestly, like, some of it is corny to a degree that I think is not helpful at all to
Sure.
the weight they are trying to
Betrays
assign
it.
Yeah.
this story. Yeah.
How long would you say your run was?
12 to 15, somewhere
Okay.
in there. I did replay some stuff because I ended up with a real bad outcome that I didn't want, so I just kind of went back and did a couple of things differently.
And
But
you
you
can do that at any time?
can do
just
that
kinda-
anytime. As long as you've unlocked a chapter, you can start back from any of those chapters
cool.
if you want to. So,
Even before the end of the game?
yeah.
Okay.
I
So,
will
yeah.
say, I hear what you're saying. I hear
Yeah.
your reservations, but
Yes.
I think I might play this game.
Yeah, I think I'm so curious about it too.
You do whatever makes you happy. That is just one man's opinion, and one man's opinion is that Detroit Become Human is not actually very good. But it's out, I believe, as of the time that this quick look is going up, or at least pretty close to it. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Benny. Thanks, Abby.
Bye.